going on, guys? Happy Saturday. or maybe for some of you guys, you're in the future and it's already Sunday. Welcome, one and all. It is 8:45 p.m. here in Florida, and I'm going to be hanging out with you guys for a short, cool 30 minutes. These things always go longer, right? We'll see. But, yep, Saturday. I didn't even realize that it was Saturday when I started the stream. My schedule, my work schedule is so weird, and I never know. Like, weekends don't matter to me, basically. Just because every day that I work is basically a weekend, I have the next 2 days off, you know? So, I didn't even realize it was Saturday. So, happy Saturday. Thank you for spending a short little jolt of your weekend freedom with this random internet dummy. So, I appreciate your time. What's on your mind? What do you want to talk about? Star Wars or not? Let's just shoot the shit about any topic you want to. I just cracked open a Duke's Cold Nose Brown Ale from Bold City Brewery down here in Jacksonville, Florida. And I'm ready to chat. What's going on? Robin, thank you so much for the first super chat and channel support. I'm excited to listen to this stuff, man. Robin says, hey, HG, long time no see. Hope you're doing well. Finally have music out. Almost Lucid by Dylan Robin. Thanks for all your kind words through the years. That is, I'm so excited. I'm going to share a little, where would you prefer, actually? SoundCloud? Well, how about this? I'm a DistroKid. I just Googled it. DistroKid. Boom. Almost Lucid. DistroKid. I'm going to listen to it after the stream. And, hell yeah, man. You can, apparently you can listen to, Dylan's stuff on Spotify, Apple Music, and iTunes. Yeah, I love this kind of shit. I love people making stuff. I don't know. It just puts a good feeling in my heart, man. When, you know, you put so much time and effort and passion into a project and then you release it to the world. And I know how nerve-wracking that can be. I know how anxiety-ridden that can be. You know, you're kind of putting yourself out to the entire human race and saying, this is what I've created. What do you think? But dude, congratulations. I can't wait to listen to it after the stream for sure. Anytime, Robin. Thanks for dropping in, man, and thank you for the support. And thank you for sharing some new music with me. That's another thing I really enjoy. I really enjoy listening to. I don't know. That's how I've discovered so many great bands over the years. You know, through my friends who are my friends have always been way more like, I'm really into music, but they are like my core group of friends. They have their finger on the pulse of just music as a whole. You know, we grew up listening to the same stuff, like the Get Up Kids or like Bright Eyes and stuff like that. So they have that. We kind of have a very similar taste. And you know, one of my buddies told me about a band called Pine Grove like 4 years ago, and now I've been hooked ever since, you know. So that's how it is. I love it. Anyway, thank you, Robin. I appreciate that, man. Cheers. Minato, thank you so much as well. Minato says Disney Plus lost $1.5 billion. How is that possible? And 2.4 million subs last quarter alone, causing 7,000 to be fired. Should we be worried about some shows being canceled like Acolyte? I mean, that's always, even before those insane numbers, which, you know, I've never looked into it. I'm sure you're telling the truth, you know. I'm sure you are way more versed and knowledgeable about this side of things than I have any desire to be, you know. But even before those statistics, those numbers, you know, it was always kind of a worry that some of these projects that have been announced would be canceled, chopped, you know, in the future. It's happened numerous times. Not just with whole projects, but involvement in those projects through various people being let go, you know. So, I don't know if those numbers are really going to change the output or the future plans. Maybe they'll put some on hold. Maybe they'll be outright canceled, you know. But in my brain, it doesn't worry me any more than I was already worried about. You know, like Rogue Squadron, I think that's already done, right? It's on like permanent hold. Who knows if that thing's going to ever be made? That's just kind of the nature of the beast over the years, you know. Maybe they jumped the gun with announcing projects, you know, too quickly. Maybe they've learned their lesson from that. Who knows? But yeah, the worry has always been there, and maybe those numbers, maybe those stats right there, increase that worry even, you know, a little more. But yeah, those numbers are crazy. I don't know, what is that in terms of other streaming services? What are those numbers relative to those other streaming services? You know, I don't know. I don't know if streaming as a whole is down, or if it's just Disney Plus. What are the factors that went into those numbers? Was there something drastic that happened? Is that regional? Is that like in a certain area where Disney Plus is no longer available? Like, I don't know the behind the scenes. I don't know the reasonings and the factors that led into those numbers, but I'm sure there's a lot that goes into it rather than, you know, just a bunch of people canceling their subscriptions from the United States of America or something like that. Does that make sense? I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into it. I think this is the third time in 3 streams that you've brought those similar numbers up. So they canceled 2 non-Star Wars series. Oh, interesting. Interesting. That's a bummer. Dude, it is so hot in my office. Let me take off my hoodie real quick. 1 second. Ladies and gentlemen. Burning up. I need to get a fan in here, man. That's one thing, like, I really need to get in my office. We actually just bought 2 new like, we're kind of we've had the same furniture pretty much since our old house. We lived in our old house from like 2012 to 2013, I think, to 2019. And we basically still had the same furniture since then. So we're kind of splurging lately with some stuff. We got a really nice, like, couch, leather couch. Oh, one sec.
Ability to tell great SW stories, seeing as certain characters need to end up certain ways in the name of continuity.
Harrison Carhart, thank you so much, man. As well as Evans Media, Andrew, and John. I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, anyway, I need to get a fan because it's always hot in my office. Anyway. Evans, Harrison, Andrew, and John, once again, thank you guys so much. Evan says, I can't speak this evening. Headed to Disney World tomorrow, 6 a.m. flight. Going to Galaxy's Edge for the first time on Monday and Friday. So excited. Going to the other parks too. Hell yes. Is this? I'm gonna keep an eye on the chat, Evans. Is this your first time at Disney World? Like, period, or is it just your first time at Galaxy's Edge? I'm excited for you, man. I hope you were able to get Oga's Cantina reservations. If not, don't worry about it. Like, it's a fun place. You would spend way too much money and then come out of there going, oh my god. That's what me and my wife did. Me and my wife went there. We just got lucky with Oga's Cantina reservations, and then we were told that there was a 2-drink limit, and the bartender just didn't give a shit, and he kept serving us, and before we knew it, we each had 4 in 45 minutes because we just wanted to try things, and we were like, oh my god, our bill is like $180. But you know, it's like kind of it's a once in every few years thing, maybe, you know. But no, I've gone to Disney World before, but it was before Galaxy's Edge opened. Yes, I got reservations to Oga's. Hell yes. Enjoy yourself, man. My favorite drink was oh man, what was it? Let me look it up. I can't remember what it was called. Oga's Cantina drink menu. My favorite thing was Jet Juice. It's got bourbon. It's got pomegranate liqueur. It's well, I like bourbon and whiskey and stuff like that. So if you do, I would highly recommend it. It's the strongest drink that they have. It's served in like it's served in like a little glass. But it is tasty. It is tasty. So I highly recommend getting that. But you're gonna have a blast, man. It's the Galaxy's Edge is fun. The rides are fun. The immersion is unlike anything else. You know, there's a lot of stuff to buy, which I'm not into buying a lot of stuff. I don't collect things, you know. I'm not a merch hound or anything like that. But you know, if there's some fun drinks, you know, I'll get them. You gotta try blue milk, right? You gotta hold the blue milk in front of the Millennium Falcon and take your picture. Yeah, it's great. Oh, you're 16 and not old enough to drink. Oh, anyway, get somebody that's old enough to drink. I'm not going to endorse this. Never mind. Oh man, I feel so bad, Evans. I apologize, man. Don't even bother. You know, it doesn't matter. You're going to have a better time than I did because we were a little loopy afterwards, and we were like, let's just kind of lounge. But dude, you're gonna have a blast, man. Yeah, enjoy yourself. All the parks are, you know, I don't know when's the last time you've been, but everything's pretty great. Hollywood Studio, Hollywood. I almost called it MGM. Hollywood Studios has come a long way since where it used to be years ago. They've done a really great job with that park. Dude, my favorite ride at Hollywood Studios, Evans, it's called Minnie and Mickey's Runaway Railway. You gotta get on that. You'll see the line for it. You won't know what the hell it is because they haven't really like made the line yet. The ride's there, but the line is still like the line from an old ride called the Great Movie Ride, I think. Yeah, ride that ride. You won't regret it. It is fun. It uses the same type of technology as Rise of the Resistance. So it's like this. I don't even know how it works. Like this, like radar controlled carts, you know. But yeah, I highly recommend. If there's one ride that I recommend that's like new, that's not Star Wars, I recommend that ride. It is fun, dude. It's fun. It's great. Great. But enjoy yourself, man. I appreciate the support. And when you get back, I want to hear all about it. All right? All right, buddy boy? And you know, they have a lot of great... At Oga's, they have a lot of fun, like, non-alcoholic drinks, too. So you'll enjoy yourself just as much as anyone else. But cheers, man. Let's see. Cool. Harrison Carhart, thank you so much. And Andrew and John. Harrison says, Firefighter here. Nice. Do you think the amount of prequel content is inhibiting writers' ability to tell great Star Wars stories, seeing as certain characters need to end up certain ways in the name of continuity? Nice, man. Yep. Same profession. How long you been on the job? I've only been almost a year. So my rookie year is almost over. I always say that I should have done this like 10 years ago when I got out of the military. But I just didn't know what I wanted to do, and I didn't even know how to begin. You know what I mean? So I'm loving it so far. I have a really good crew. My crew is made up of people it's an older crew in terms of age, which I like a lot. Like most of the people that I work with on my shift are actually retired from another department, and they just want to keep working. So they have like, oh, one sec.
My own SW stories on my channel for a while now. From a long-time fan, what do you think is the most important element in a compelling SW story? Hope the family's well.
Concordia Jedi, thank you so much for the generous channel support as well. Give me one sec, or probably multiple minutes. I'm long-winded. Oh, nice, in the academy. Hell yeah. Good deal. They're just starting out. Yeah, it's fun. I don't know how your academy was, but mine was. I was often the oldest guy in my I was the oldest guy in my EMT class, and I was the oldest guy in my fire academy class. And I was only 35 at the time, so that's not too old, right? But starting a career, going to school and stuff like that at that age. I don't know how old you are. It was interesting because I kind of felt like the dad, among a bunch of kids who just got out of high school like the year prior, and I don't know how to explain it. It was a lot of fun. It was monotonous, and it was sometimes just so repetitive because they're kind of training you to be able to pass like the state firefighter exam. So for like, I don't know, it was like 6 months. We just kind of did the same thing every single day, throwing ladders, cutting roofs for ventilation. Like there was a checklist of things that we just did over and over and over again for like 6 months, which is good. It's good skills to learn, but it got kind of boring and repetitive after a little while. And then when you get to the streets, when you get to the real job, you still retain a lot of that information, but it just, it builds upon itself, and you learn new skills, and you learn different ways to do things. And one thing that I wish they did more of, Harrison, is medical stuff. Like my EMT school is great, but you don't really learn anything until you get in the field. And 99% of what you're going to do as a firefighter is medical related. So your job, right when you get on the streets, is basically, I don't know what you're going to have, but we have a monitor. It has a blood pressure cuff. It has a pulse oximeter. It can measure your CO. It measures your pulse rate. It's also an AED. It can shock. So your job is to man that thing. You're getting all the vital signs and stuff like that. You might even use a glucometer to get some sugar readings. Your job is that. And I wish you got, as a student, and even in rookie school, I wish you had more hands-on with the medical stuff. It's not as fun. But it is 99% of what you are going to do, But yeah, anyway, man, that's awesome. Congratulations. I hope you enjoy it. And you said, do you think the amount of prequel content is inhibiting writers' ability to tell great Star Wars stories, seeing as certain characters need to end up certain ways in the name of continuity? Maybe back in the day I would have said that. I don't necessarily think that anymore. There's some great books. There's even the Clone Wars. You can look at the Clone Wars as writers' ability to kind of, I don't know, to tell great stories with characters that ended up in the prequels. We all know where their destiny lies in the future, but that doesn't mean we can't have, really fun stories from their past, despite knowing where they're going to end up. You know what I mean? So no, I don't necessarily think that's true. You could say that about really any quote unquote prequel to anything. You could say that about Solo. We know where Solo ends up. You could say that about, hell, you could say that about Bloodline, like novels too. We know where Leia ends up. So I don't necessarily see that as any kind of negative thing. And if it's inhibiting writers, I don't. They have like a sandbox to play in, and there are limitations and restrictions on what they can do just by nature of being in this giant franchise with a lot of moving parts, and destiny's already written, But that sandbox is pretty pliable. It's pretty moldable. You can dig around and create a lot of new fun stuff despite all that, So I think they've done a pretty good job. Yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that, Harrison. Let me know if you have any questions in the future, as somebody who's gone through it. But hell yeah, man. Proud of you. Cheers. Stay in the books. I studied a lot. Anyway. Andrew Rodriguez, John, Concordia, Oscar, and Benjamin B. Thank you guys so much. Andrew says, if they ever made another Star Wars film, what would you want it to be about? Andrew, oh goodness. You know, I have always said that I would love if a trilogy, or I think it would work better in a trilogy. I've always said that I would love if they went back in time, like so far back in time in the Star Wars timeline, and they explored like the first discovery of the Force. You know, the first people to discover this energy field, this power, I guess you could call it. I think that would be such a fascinating, trippy, interesting story to tell. The discovery of the Force. Yeah, it's like gravity, right? That's the way I see it, at least. It's always been there. It's always been there. It just took someone or a group of people to discover it. And I think it would be kind of neat to kind of explore that discovery. You could have people that wanted to, you know, hoard this knowledge for their own personal gain, or democratize it and spread this knowledge across the galaxy. Then you could have people who wanted to completely hide this knowledge from everyone, fearing it could, you know, it could get into the wrong hands. But I think that would be a fun little thing to play around in, you know, a story like that. And also, like, I wouldn't mind if they just continued the saga, too. You know, made it 10, 11, and 12. I think that's inevitable in the distant future. I think it would be fun to play around in that saga again, you know. Anyway, cheers, man. John, thank you. John Laskinus, thank you so much. John says, hey, Greedo, since we were talking about personal projects, I'm currently working on a 501st fan fiction with a Band of Brothers / Saving Private Ryan tone. I've always, that is just kind of, I love that. Hell yes. Is this going to be like a fan film? I've always wanted something like that, John. I've seen a bunch of fan films and they never really hit the nail on the head with me, at least. And I think they're going for that Band of Brothers and Saving Private Ryan tone. The closest one that I ever saw, and it's really short, it's like 4 minutes long, it's called Jakku First Wave. There's no action in it, it's all dialogue. It's stormtroopers who are about to jump into battle. But hell yes. I've been in the 501st for like 10 years, and I've never been a part of any kind of fan film or fan project and stuff like that. Nobody around here really has ever done that. It would be pretty cool to be a part of, though, for sure. If you get a link, I don't know if it's a fan film or something like that, but if whenever it gets made, John, please share a link with me. I would love to see it, and then tell me where you're at. Tell me where you're at in the fan film. I am writing in a Google Doc. I don't have the budget for a film, so it will probably remain as a book. Oh, nice. That's cool. That's cool too. And you know what's budget, especially working with 501st. Oh, are you talking about 501st as in like canon 501st, or 501st the costuming organization? You're probably talking about see, when I think of 501st, I think of the costuming, the charity organization. That's the first thing that pops into my mind. That's cool too. A little fan fiction, a little book. That's where I write all my stuff too, Google Docs. Makes it so easy. Oh my god. Makes it so easy. Yeah, the Clones Legion. Yep. We were thinking of two different things. That's cool, man. Yeah, when it's done, when you finish it up, take your time. Don't rush it. It's easy to like rush stuff that you're writing, right? To try to get it out, get it done. Take your time. And you never know where a project like that could lead, As long as you keep writing, when you put it out for the world, who knows? Maybe the right person could read it and you're writing for Star Wars officially. You know, you never know. I mean, that might be a goofy long shot. That might be one of those like impossible things, but everybody has to start somewhere, right? You never know. You never know unless you try, right? What did was it Wayne Gretzky? You miss every shot that you don't take. Was that Wayne Gretzky? I don't know. Anyway, cheers, man. Best of luck. Concordia Jedi, thank you so much. As well, Concordia says, been writing and narrating for my own Star... Oh, we got 2 back-to-back fan fiction stuff. Here we go. Concordia says, been writing and narrating my own Star Wars stories on my channel for a while now. From a longtime fan, what do you think is the most important element in a compelling Star Wars story? Hope the family's well. That's great, man. Concordia Jedi. I'm going to do a quick Google. Concordia Jedi. YouTube channel. I'm going to pull up the channel. And I'm going to check some stuff out. Nice. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. For me, Star Wars stories are not about like powers or it's not even about Jedi and Sith. It's to me, Star Wars, the most important element in a compelling Star Wars story is the most important element in any story. It's not exclusive to Star Wars. It's relatable characters, deep characters, characters that you like. Not meaning that you like them as people, but meaning you can like villains too. They can be well-rounded and deeply explored villains. A character's motivation that you understand is one of the most important aspects in kind of consuming this stuff, right? If there's a character that you really don't understand their motivations, why they're doing things, what motivates them, you can't really get into their head. You can't root for them. You can't root against them, you know. So what makes a compelling Star Wars story, I don't think, is exclusive to Star Wars. All the elements of good storytelling just kind of filter into Star Wars. This is kind of the same with everything, you know. I hope that answered your question. To me, it's, you know, characters, situations, twists and turns, unexpected moments. You know, these are elements that again are not exclusive to Star Wars. It's just a part of good, well-rounded storytelling, you know. Audiences that or readers that are kind of not... I don't like predictability. I hate it. I hate when something is so predictable and then it happens and it's just to me that's just such a bummer. You know, I like good twists and turns. But yeah. Anyway, man, Concordia, I'm going to pull up the channel. I'm going to check it out after the stream. Is that a BB-8 you got? Buddy hates BB-8 shorts. What kind of BB-8 is that, Concordia? That is awesome. I don't think I've never seen this, dude. What is that? A remote control BB-8? I've never seen that. I'm going to Google it. Remote control BB-8. Because that looks like... Isn't there a tiny one that's remote controlled? That one looked big. Spin Master BB-8. Spin Master BB-8. Oh, man. Spin Master BB-8. Ooh, that's a pricey RC car. That's pretty cool. They have them on Walmart for $230. That's neat, man. I didn't know they made that. I've never seen this remote control BB-8, Stuart. I've seen like the little tiny one that you can control with your phone, I think. I didn't know this was one. This is like almost life size, it looks like. Maybe not quite that, but interesting. Scare my cat. I'd hand the controller to my daughter and she'd run it into the refrigerator and break it day one. Yeah, I think the Sphero one, Stuart. I think. Anyway, Concordia, I appreciate that support. Best of luck to you. And, yeah, keep on making stuff. Oscar, Benjamin, and Vince, thank you guys so much for the super chats. Final super chats before I jet. We're a little over 30 minutes. It's all good, my friends. Oscar says, any tips on writing? I've been writing my stories to show more than tell. I struggle with this passive versus active writing. You know, that is probably one of the hardest things to do. And I've never really written any fiction, you know. I don't even know if I can really give any pointers. Look at probably the best thing that you could do, Oscar, is look at examples. Look at examples of when... I'm sure there's detailed articles written about this too. You know, look at examples when stories, when movies, when shows, when books show rather than tell. You know. That's what I would do, at least. You know, if I was jumping into some kind of fiction writing, that's what I would do. You know, try to get some pointers and see some examples of how storytellers showed rather than told, you know. I mean, expository dialogue's great and dandy, but if an audience or a reader is shown things in a clever way that tells the job that, like, dialogue, expository dialogue especially, is supposed to tell, then it's more interesting, it's more fun, it's more engaging. But yeah, that's what I would do, Oscar. I would look at examples. I would poke around on the internet, and I'm sure people have talked about that kind of stuff on Reddit before, and just see how other people worked it, you know. Yeah, but as someone who's never written any fiction, really, I can't really tell you exactly how I would go. I mean, how to do it. But that's where I would start. I would fish around online and spend a couple days, you know, kind of, yeah, just like I said, looking at examples of how that's done, and then going from there. Maybe it'll put some ideas in your head, you know. But anyway, Oscar, best of luck to you. I know it's yeah, again, I've never written any fiction, and I can't imagine how difficult it would be to craft an interesting story on a blank piece of paper. You know, I'd probably sit staring at that paper for forever trying to figure out what the hell to do. But yeah. Benjamin, thank you so much as well. Ben says, "Hey Greedo, I'm really stoked for the Acolyte coming out soon. If ever you interested in playing Hogwarts Legacy, I was a developer on it for 2.5 years." No kidding, Ben. What? That's a cool gig. That's a fun gig. I'm curious, like, working on a video game, does that kind of take your love? Do you, like, have a desire to play that video game? Like, I don't know if I worked on a video game for multiple years and it came out, I don't know if I would really have a desire to play it. You know? Like, you're inside of that game for so long, the inner workings and stuff. I would feel like I would just be completely burned out with seeing all of it. You know? I don't know. I definitely want to play the game. Eventually, I'm going to play the Hogwarts, the Harry Potter game. Eventually, I will. But yeah, it's just a factor of not having any time to play video games these days. Shit, man, I got Cyberpunk like 2 weeks before Christmas, and I've only logged like 3.5 hours in it. That's the most video gaming I have done since then. I've played nothing else other than Just Dance with my daughter and my wife. But I've heard the game's great. It looks fun. I've been wanting to play it, since they announced it. But I know what would happen. I would buy it and it would just sit there for a while because I just don't have the time to play it, unfortunately. Yeah. Hell yeah. And Ben, you're probably not still here. You sent that super chat 17 minutes ago. I'm long-winded, so if you listen to this in the future, I'd love to hear your answer. Because I am curious, man. Like, I could see working on a game and then just being done with it when it comes out and not having any desire to play it, But, yeah, the game looks great. Anyway, cheers. I'm excited for Acolyte 2, man. I don't know when it's coming out. I love the mystery behind it. I love that we really don't know anything about it. And that's what really intrigues me about projects like that, But anyway, cheers, Ben. Vince, thank you so much for coming in with the final super chat and channel support of the stream. Vince says, spent most of the day making homemade pasta sauce for chicken parm, with watching Close Encounters and Jaws in the background. Pretty great day. Hope the same for everybody. Cheers. That sounds goddamn glorious. That sounds goddamn glorious. A, I love those two movies from the bottom of my heart. And B, I love chicken parm from the bottom of my heart. If we go to an Italian restaurant, I always order chicken parmesan. Always. I love it. And my love for it is why I can't eat that shit all the time. If there is pasta, I will eat all pasta. It's my kryptonite. It's like I don't know why. It's like a vessel for salt. I love it. When I have pasta, I salt the shit out of my plate. It's just I don't know why. I love it. I love it. Ship me some, Vince. That sounds awesome. We've made homemade pasta sauce a few times. We made homemade noodles before. It's very time consuming, and that's why I understand why we don't do that anymore, especially with the child. But hell yeah, I made homemade turkey meatballs for me and my daughter. My wife went and got dinner with one of her old high school friends. Her and her friend, they went and got some dinner, and so I was with my daughter for the evening, and I just made some homemade turkey meatballs. They were good, and then made her some pasta, and yeah, it was good. Followed Chef John's sauce. Chef John. Let's look this up. Chef John pasta sauce. Chef John's tomato sauce recipe. All right. Olive oil, onion, celery, salt, garlic. Garlic is the best. Garlic makes everything amazing. Like, fresh roasted garlic right from the bulb. You can just roast it. You can just, and then eat it. Just eat it. It's so good. Did I say Jeff? Did I say Jeff? Anyway, Vince. Yeah, we had a pretty relaxing, lazy day. We had some new furniture delivered. Yeah, please put it in the Discord, Robin. Yeah, for sure. We had a new couch and love seat delivered. Really nice. We've had our old couch and love seat for I think 9 years, which isn't that really that long. But we have a cat that has claws, and she's fucking destroyed that thing over the 9 years of her existence. And so we decided to splurge and got some really nice a couch and a love seat that has a chase on one of the sides, and it's like a low profile 1950s Mad Men style couch. It's really sharp. Got that delivered. We're kind of redoing our living room. So that was my day. Other than that, it was lazy. Anyway, cheers, man. Good movies. I've been wanting to watch Interstellar a lot lately. I haven't seen it since it came out in 2014. And for whatever reason, I've really wanted to watch it recently. Like, big time. I'm curious how I'll view it as, like, a dad now. I know he has the relationship with him and his kids in the movie. But you know, watching it as a dad these days, I'm just curious if I'll what I'll think of it, you know. When did Mad Men come out? Because so it came out 2007. All right, so I've never watched. Well, hold on. What did you say? Mad Men has remained the top of the list for shows to watch, but never get around. Exactly. So, Vince, I've never seen it either. My wife watched it and loved it. She started it, I think, when I was on deployment in 2010. And she watched all of it, and she said I would love it. I need to watch it. I've seen the first episode. We watched the first episode together, and I didn't know why. I don't know why I didn't continue watching it, but yeah, it's. I need to. Anyway. Oscar, thank you so much once again. Last super chat before I gotta go. Oscar says, my short fix aren't Star Wars related. It's about an older Stan Marsh wandering North America as a hitchhiker. Borrow less from SP, borrow less from South Park, more from Into the Wild. That sounds really interesting. I knew you were working on South Park stuff, but I didn't know it was that. I like that. That's a really unique take on a goofy South Park character. That is a really clever idea, man. Interesting. Huh. Yeah, I love that idea, man. How cool. Yeah, I knew you did South Park stuff. Into the Wild's another good one. Never read the book. Always wanted to. Huh. All right. Now, Oscar, I want to play the South Park video games. I have them on the PC, and I want to play the South Park video games. The Butthole of Truth, what's it called? So, what is it called? South Park games. The Fractured Butthole, and the other one is called The Stick of Truth. That's right. Those were so fun. I'm gonna reinstall right now on Steam. Anyway, cheers, man. Keep it up. I didn't realize that's a really clever and fun idea. I do remember that game, Vince. Yep. Wasn't there a kart racer, a South Park kart racer game too? Anyway. Andrew Rodriguez, thank you so much for coming in with a final super chat. Truly final super chat before I go. Andrew says, I mentioned before that I got a job for a solar company. They took us on a trip to the Gas Lamp District in San Diego a couple weeks ago. Gas Lamp District. Gas Lamp District. Lively downtown neighborhood known for... I've never been to San Diego. Known for nightlife, club, dive bars, and cocktail lounges. Draw a young crowd. Diverse music, programs, comedy, and drama. There's a mix of chain and independent restaurants in the area with many global options. Grassy lawns, ice cream and coffee vendors, and an interactive fountain. That sounds fun. So many cities have like really eclectic areas like just like this, you know. It's real. I love it. And it was added to the NRHP. What is the NRHP? NRHP. National Register of Historic Places. It was added to that on my birthday. That's fun. Well, that sounds like a good company to work for, man. A company that takes you places. It's a company that invests in its employees like that. Wants you to have fun. That sounds like somewhere you want to be. You know, most companies are not like that. That sounds like a good place to work, you know. Hell yeah, I hope you had fun, Andrew. Alright, guys, it's 9:30. I gotta go. I still have to wash my work clothes. Shit. Let's see. Alright, everybody. That's it for me. We almost went an hour in this 30-minute live stream. But, alright, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. To everybody who supported the channel through Super Chats. Cheers, man. I appreciate it. To everybody who hung out in the chat and shot the shit, thanks for hanging out. Alright, guys. Enjoy the rest of your morning, your afternoon, your evening, wherever you are on planet Earth. And I will catch you all on the flip side. See ya.